Ladies and gentlemen, today, the World Business Angels Investment Forum, as an affiliated partner of the G20 Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion, GPFI, has an ongoing, frank, and constructive dialogue with 32 Latin American and Caribbean countries. Recent case studies highlight the region's use of emerging technologies to achieve social goals, such as increasing financial inclusion, combating corruption, improving public health, and reducing crime. Angel investors and startups play a key role in facilitating regional consensus and contributing to the region's development and prosperity. The World Business Angels Investment Forum signed a global partnership for financial inclusion and economic cooperation agreement with Foreign Affairs Ministry of Mexico in 2020. The agreement aimed at easing access to finance for entrepreneurs, not only in Mexico, but in Latin America and the Caribbean too. As an output of this agreement, the World Business Angels Investment Forum announces today the establishment of the Latin America and the Caribbean Trade Association for Business Angels, LACBAN, with founders from Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Guyana, Jamaica, Mexico, Panama, Peru, Trinidad and Tobago, and Venezuela. This new trade association will be based in Mexico City and will be the global voice of early-stage equity and capital markets in the region. It is a great honor and pleasure for the World Business Angels Investment Forum to contribute to the economic development of Latin American and Caribbean economies with this initiative by opening the doors of the WBAF Financial Inclusion Center to LACBAN members and by hosting its secretariat. We will now celebrate the foundation of LACBAN. The ultimate goal of the association is to ease access to finance for startups, scale-ups, entrepreneurs, SMEs, and high-growth businesses, and to promote gender equality, enhance digital inclusion, and increase financial inclusion in Latin America and the Caribbean. We invite you to join our global efforts to empower the region's economies through quality entrepreneurship and to contribute to the momentum unleashed today at the World Business Angels Investment Forum. Thank you.
And as described, we will now indeed have the launch ceremony of the Latin American and Caribbean Trade Association of the Business Angels, and it will be led by Baybars Altuntas, the executive chairman of the WBAF. Baybars, if you could please make your way to the stage, and I would like to introduce our other guests, if they could come and join Baybars as I read out your names. Marcus Dantas, president of the Latin American Business Angels Network, based in Mexico. Marcus, thank you very much. Juan Carlos Silva, WBAF International Partner from Chile. Miranda Takrodin, Senior Managing Partner at the Atlantic Ventures Holding Group from Guyana. Nelly Sanchez Ortega, the WBAF Senator from Mexico. And Miguel Martin, WBAF Senator from Spain, will also be joining us. And as they make their way to the stage, we now have a special message from Mexico.
Good evening to all. I'm happy to share that in 2020, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Mexico signed a global partnership for financial inclusion and economic cooperation agreement with the World Business Angels Investment Forum. This agreement is aimed at easing access to finance for entrepreneurs, not only in Mexico, but also in Latin America and the Caribbean. For the Mexican Ministry of Foreign Affairs, this kind of initiatives is profoundly relevant given the impact that the COVID-19 emergency exerted on global entrepreneurship. As a reference, according to the World Bank, approximately 58% of the global economies experimented a decline in the creation and continuity of new businesses with a disproportionate shock on female-led projects. Consequently, initiatives such as the one that bring us together are critical to accomplishing the objectives set forth in the 2030 agenda and is aligned with our vision for business and industry in Mexico and the region. As an output of this agreement, I'm very glad to witness the establishment of the Latin America and the Caribbean Trade Association for Business Angels LACBAN, with founders from Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Guyana, Jamaica, Mexico, Panama, Peru, Trinidad and Tobago, and Venezuela. This new trade association will be based in Mexico City, will be the global voice for early stage equity and capital markets in the region. Finally, I would like to thank the World Business Angels Investment Forum and his director, Baybars Altuntas, for its contribution to the economic development of the Latin America and the Caribbean economies through this initiative by opening doors of the WBAF Financial Inclusion Center to LACBAN members and by hosting its secretariat. Congratulations to all the founders of LACBAN. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Madam Delgado. She was an attendant of the 2020 Congress in person. She is a Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mexico, and she really put a great effort to contribute not only to Mexico, to all Latin America and the Caribbean, how we could do it. Unfortunately, because of some reasons, she couldn't join in person today, but she sent this message. So, dear friends, it is a great pleasure for me to introduce you the president of LACBAN, the Latin America and the Caribbean Trade Association for Business Angels. He is my colleague as an entrepreneur. Maybe you know, if you check my biography, I'm one of the dragons on Dragon's Den show, Shark's Tank, on Bloomberg TV, the Turkish version. And he is another shark in the Mexico TV. So now coming together in Antalya. Dear Marcus, thank you very much for your efforts. And it is really great to have founders from Chile, from Guyana, from Mexico, from Spain. We have more founders, but unfortunately they couldn't join today in person. And I want to give the microphone to you. The World Business Angels Investment Forum will really be very happy to continue the collaboration in the region. And now let's hear your first words as the president of the association.
Well, thank you very much, Baybars. First of all, thank you so much for the honor. Latin America has a lot of potential, and I'm sure all my colleagues will agree. First of all, I think the demographics in Latin America are amazing. We have from Chile all the way to Mexico. We have a very young population. The median is 27. And we have to, consider this as the basis for the talent. Education, especially university education, has quadrupled in the last 20 years. Even the poorest segments of Latin America have increased their numbers dramatically in matter of high education. We have a lot of young people, but we have a lot of young, talented people. And we have a lot of creativity. And we have a lot of entrepreneurial activity. If you look at the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, you will see that Latin America in general has off-the-charts numbers in entrepreneurial activity. The problems we have is that we don't have enough money to support these entrepreneurs. And I think that's where the Angel Association comes in, especially in the early stages. And I think that's where we can do the most good. It's been mentioned many times here, but I completely agree. Entrepreneurship is the great equalizer. It's what allows people to grow, to feed their families, to create, of course, new jobs, but most importantly, to create value-added new jobs. And what that helps with is perhaps Latin America's biggest problem, which is the distribution of wealth. There is wealth in Latin America, but it's concentrated. So as long as we grow through the value chain, I think that this growth will spread better, and this spread will increase competitivity, improve economic conditions, lower crime, and everything that's needed in order to grow this region to its full potential. So thank you very much for inviting me, and I'm very happy to represent Latin America, and I'm very happy to work with all of you. Thank you.
Dear Marcus, thank you very much. Thanks so much. And now, dear friends, we are going to make, by the way, before that, see, is this your first time in Antalya?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, the president of the Antalya Chamber of Commerce is with us. Maybe you may make an MOU next time with Antalya Chamber of Commerce. And dear president, could you please join us? Because you are representing the trade industry of Antalya, please. Welcome, yes. Now we are going to, please, let's take our tools and launch it. Thank you. Yes. All together, yes. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you. Thank you. All the best to Chile. All the best to Guyana. All the best to Spain. All the best to Mexico. Dear President, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's.